Welcome to the Unpopped Review, movie reviews from movie lover and not a movie critic. Today we're going to talk about Pee-wee's Big Holiday. Paul Reubens is finally back doing what he does best, acting like a 5-year-old as Wee Herman. First of all, let's talk about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the 1985 movie directed by Tim Burton. I love this movie. If I had to make probably a top 20 or 30 movies, I think Pee-wee's Big Adventure would definitely be in there. So let me just say I am a little biased going into this review, but it is okay because this is essentially the same movie as Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It starts off with Pee-wee not wanting to leave his hometown, but then a cool guy, Joe Manganiello, comes around. And basically what happens is he tells him that there's a whole new world outside of his little town. With Joe Manganiello's support, Pee-wee decides to leave his small town and venture outside, crossing the country. First, of course, let's talk about the good, Joe Manganiello. He is probably the best part of the movie. I honestly haven't seen him very much before, but he was absolutely hilarious. The chemistry between him and Wee Herman was just perfect. Also, they brought back many jokes from the original movie, his fear of snakes, alternate language of saying goodbye. Even some of the actors from the old movie come back to play different roles than they played before. Also, the Rube Goldberg machine at the beginning, much like at the beginning of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, how it made breakfast, this time it is bigger, better, and it's just pretty great. Now let's talk about the Basically, the biggest is Wee Herman himself. Although he stars in this movie and does a great job, don't get me wrong, he does a great job as Wee Herman again. Basically, he is pretty old now. He's 63 years old, which is pretty old for him to be acting like a 5-year-old still. But don't get me wrong, Paul Reubens still does a great job as Wee Herman. It's just simply that he can't get to the places that he used to be able to get to, and that just made it a little sad for me. Also, the story is kinda iffy. I'm not going to give it away why he crosses the country or what his goal is, but basically it's just okay. Now let's talk about the ugly. Good news, no ugly. That's why I thought this movie was pretty good overall. There were some parts I didn't care about. There were some of the minor characters I didn't care about the little storyline that was going on. But that being said, it's not ugly, it's just a part that I didn't care as much about. Now this movie is a little bit different than normal movies. There was no theatrical release. It is only available on Netflix, and I know a lot of you probably already have Netflix. So I know my grading system isn't going to exactly align with this movie. I'm still going to keep with my grading system and give it a C in theaters. That's right, I know you can't see this movie in theaters, and I know this is going to be one that you watch at home, but it is definitely worth your time. Sit down as a family, watch it. If you haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I definitely recommend seeing that one first. That one is the better of the two. And if by the end of Pee-wee's Big Adventure you don't like it, don't go on to Pee-wee's Big Holiday because it is more of the same. This has been an Unpopped Review. Don't forget to leave your unpopped comments below. And remember to keep it unpopped.